Okay, so what happened is our watermelon that we had two watermelons. We already were eating one of them, and the other one was stored still in the van. The other watermelon in the van exploded. So that was a big mess, and not because of the heat. A combination of things that led to it. The watermelon was already getting bad, I think. So when you drum on a watermelon, and it gives out a deep sound that might be because of bacteria building up. If it has a lighter sound, then it may still be fresh. So he's going to pay attention to this now. And so then you don't want to store a watermelon in a van or car with the windows closed. So the reason why the windows were closed is because he washed the van yesterday and then forgot to open the windows again. And then the sun beating on the van, but it doesn't get that hot here. But still, sun beating on the roof of the van, then the windows closed and the watermelon already having bacteria. This combination led to the watermelon exploding in the van sometime during the day today. We didn't even notice. He saw it once he was opening the van to take something out. That's when he saw the mess. So that's what happened, and it's not fun. It was a lot of work. I'm exhausted. We had to wash everything with the hose. Oh God. But, whatever. Hung it up on the ladder for the sun to dry the materials, shopping bags and so on. Bathroom rugs that we had in the van for the baby dog. The mattress in the van got watermelon on it. Also, you had to put a cardboard box underneath to air it out from underneath. Big mess. Might have to wash the mattress. I washed the watermelon material up already, so my brain is reversing things. I'm exhausted. I had to put it in the compost. So, at the other house, we're gonna have to take the mattress out, I think. And I don't know, we rinse it or wipe it and then let it sun dry, something like that, probably. I don't know. It's a lot of work. So don't leave a watermelon in the van or car, right? Take it in the house. And eat it as fast as possible. So the way we eat the watermelon is he cuts it up and puts it in the blender and blends it. You don't need to add water. It's very, very full of water. That's why it's called watermelon. And you blend it up and it tastes fantastic. It tastes heavenly. And this smells heavenly this year. It makes me high, actually. Oh, this makes me high. Oh my gosh. Well, then I had the garden hose out there already and washing stuff on the ladder, and then I decided, okay, I might just as well water the lawn, which I did. So now I came back in and I'm exhausted, but I wanted to do the follow-up video anyway to explain what happened. We already have a whole lot of work, so, but apparently we needed more work. Oh, it's not easy. My dad always used to say, yes, 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 it's not easy. I always say that too, and then I laugh about it because I remember that my dad always used to say that. It's not easy. But those are learning experiences, you learn from it, and you don't do it again. That's all there is to it. When something, some kind of malheur happens, the Germans call it a malheur. Really comes from the Latin word mal, which means bad. So a little bad incident. So, which diarrhea is also called a malheur. So I had a conversation with someone on YouTube recently about that. This one was a watermelon malheur. That's what happened. No, you don't want a watermelon to explode. No, that's watermelon costs $5, which is very reasonably priced actually, but still, $5 that can buy you air freshener and surgical gloves, and it can buy you wax melts. So, yeah, but most of all, that's food going to waste, Precious, precious, gourmet, health food. The most health food drink you can make in the whole world is blended watermelon. That's the most gourmet tasting. It tastes like candy. It tastes like sweet candy. It tastes like really refreshing, and it purifies your system. It purifies your liver and your brain. So it's amazing. It's a superfood. So we eat it in the summertime when they're in season all the time, and it's real good for us. Real, real, real good for you. I don't know how Paul does it, but I think what I would do is I would wash the watermelon first with clay, with kaolin clay, which we have in the soil. Wash it real good with that. Scrub the outside. Take that tag off. It's a tag that doesn't compost. So, and then you rinse it real good, and then you should cut it on a wash table outside. That's the better than in the kitchen, because it splashes and it causes things to be sticky. It brings ants in, so it's better to do this outside. And you can take a large knife and you can cut it. Might even want to use a chisel and a hammer. That's probably easier to use that out on the wash table. You put it into the wash table sink. Take a hammer and a chisel. I think that's how I would do it. I'm gonna tell Paul to do that. He's probably not gonna listen, but that's how I would do it. And then you can chisel it in two halves, and then you can put one half in the refrigerator, and you can scoop one out with an ice cream scooper, which is what Paul does. And then you put that into a blender, and then you blend it. Okay. Ice cream scoopers work very well, particularly the expensive one. I have one expensive one that's very heavy, and that has a very sharp upper edge to really scrape stuff out like watermelon. And then you then you can even use the hammer and the chisel also to scrape all of that out, because you don't want anything to go to waste. Even the stuff on the inside of the rind. So even the stuff that is light greenish. Okay, so it's still really, really important to eat that as well. Real good stuff. Real nutritious. I'm gonna tell Paul that from now on I'm gonna wash the watermelons outside with kaolin clay and rinse it with the hose, and I'm gonna put it in this wash table sink, and then I'm gonna take a hammer and a chisel. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take care of that. That's better. That's much better. But the best is to grow your own watermelons in a greenhouse. Okay, that's the absolute best. And so that's what we're planning on doing when we move out there inland. Want to get a commercial greenhouse and grow as much in there, every single fruit and food, vegetable and food plant, food trees, as many as possible. Different melons and pumpkins. I want to grow all of that in the greenhouse all year round and live self-sustainably and have real healthy food to eat that has not been handed out by other people. Okay, that hasn't been touched by dirty hands. This here is a clean hand. Only touched by clean hands like this here. This is such heaven. This is, my gosh, I am delighted beyond imagination. Oh my gosh, this is good. Oh. This is so satisfying. This is better than any squishy toy I've ever had. It's true. I've made squishy toy videos in the past. I don't know, on this channel and also on my other channels. Dollar Tree Store squishy toy ASMR videos, but this here is the winner. Absolutely. There's no doubt about it. This really satisfies you on every sensual level. This is the nose satisfaction. nerve satisfaction. It is the dog satisfaction. It soothes the dog. Don't let the dog get a hold of this. I don't recommend it. Okay, they're probably puppy dogs probably want to have this, but let me see if he is interested in this. Yeah, interested in this? Interested in this? Not interested? Are you interested in this? Not interested? No, no, he's not interested. He's not interested. That has too much perfume in it. Oh, for me, it's like I feel high from this. This makes you high. This scent, real strong scented, makes you high. I mean, I have it on the kitchen counter. That's where I laid it earlier. And I was going in and out of the house, taking care of the watermelon calamity, and I was really amazed. Every time I came in the kitchen, this emitted already an intense, heavenly smell. So perfect for selling the house. But I'm going to hide this when people come to look at the house, because what if someone is inclined to touch this? Because it makes you inclined to touch it, right? It's an invitation. You just want to touch this and squish it a little bit. I don't know what I would do if I looked at someone's house and they had something like this on the counter. My inner child will come out and go, oh, don't touch it. It's ours. Don't touch it with your dirty hands. The person will say, and I'll say, I don't have dirty hands, I have clean hands. But, obviously, when you look at a house to buy, you don't want to touch things. Particularly not when the person is still living there. Okay, that's rude to do that. So, I have to hide that somewhere. So people don't touch it. This is absolute heaven. It's the ultimate. I did not expect this to be this amazing. I mean, I thought this was going to be awesome. Really awesome. I was so happy about the idea that I had the other day. So, but I didn't realize how amazing it would be. And this is really amazing. Like really, really amazing. Oh my goodness. This is an olfactory sensation. This is it has a little bit like a condom vibe, of course. But that doesn't matter. It's so perfectly fine. This is what happens in a penis. Blood gets pumped into it. That's why it's like this, upright. When this blood is not in it, then it hangs down. And as soon as they think about something sexual, it goes. That's an amazing thing, a penis, isn't it? Women have penis envy, according to Sigmund Freud. And that never made sense to me, ever. I don't have penis envy. That's ridiculous. So, I know who has penis envy. Women who want to be men. They literally have penis envy. Okay, so they invert their vagina into a penis like this. This is awful sad. I didn't want to talk about negativity, but I mean, some of them they have a woman body and a male brain. That's awful tragic when that happens. Okay, so real tragic. Tragic. Cannot imagine. Okay. But many of them aren't even trans, and they're just depressed. They go to a doctor, and because the doctor gets kickback money for talking people into trans surgeries. This is a crime. This is an international war crime. That's what that is. Okay, there's no other way to describe it. Out of greed, and then little girls that are not even trans. They're just depressed. They don't know what's going on, and they're lonely, and they feel like they don't fit in somewhere. And then the doctor says, I know why. That's you want to be a boy. And the little girl doesn't even argue. She's like, oh, okay. I didn't know that, but yeah, now that you, the doctor and the God in white, is telling me this, now I better do whatever you tell me, right? So that you can buy your Rolls Royce or Porsche or whatever. It's sad. That is very, very sad, to say the least. It's criminal. George Soros and his son, they have promoted this. They have pushed this in. They pushed this so far into our legislation. I mean, this is an extreme capital crime, what George Soros and his son did to the United States, particularly, to push this agenda into schools and hospitals. And gosh, this is awful. This is really terrible. Really terrible. So my message to all little girls is never, ever, ever, ever cut anything off your body or change anything on your body. Never. Please do not do it. And don't do any plastic surgery of any sort. No surgeries. Unless it's some kind of health issue or accident and emergency, whatever. So real emergency surgery, then that's different. Okay, that might be necessary to save your life, right? So, but don't go under the knife. Please, please, please respect your body like it is. And even the ones that are trans, don't hurt your body. Please don't cut anything off. Okay, please don't. Whether you're a girl or boy, don't cut anything off. Don't change anything in you or on you. And don't cut the ears off the dog. Don't cut the tails off the dog. Don't do any plastic surgery on an animal or child or on yourself. Very important message. Okay. Very, very important message. Love yourself the way you are, by nature. I have a big nose, it's okay. Yeah, the nostril gets flared out a little bit sometimes. Like Beavis and Butthead. It's okay, I'll leave it like that. Whatever, okay? It is what it is. Leave it like that. It's not the end of the world. Most of you are real gorgeous, and then you think you're not. Michael Jackson, perfect example. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous boy, gorgeous man. He didn't need any of these surgeries. Any of it. He didn't need to make his skin white. None of it. Okay? Or Beyonce or Kim Kardashian. So Beyonce wants to look white, Kim Kardashian wants to look black. So you're always envying the other person's garden, right? You always think the lawn is greener on the other side of the fence. That's what you think. You think because the black singers are being popular, now you want to look like them. Or if you're a black singer or a black person, then you want to look like Adele or Taylor Swift. Right? So that's idiotic. It's idiotic. Don't do it. Don't do that to yourself. You're gorgeous the way you are. Okay? It's the truth. It is the truth. It is the absolute truth. Okay, so my role model is Madame Vivienne Westwood, the godmother of punk. Okay, that is my role model. Not only because that is what my generation loved, it is what animal rights people love, because she was an animal rights activist. And that is what any reason-based, kind-hearted person who loves themselves respects, because, I respect her for all three of these things. Godmother of punk, animal rights activist, because I'm an animal rights activist, and having had no surgeries. She never had surgeries done on herself. She used to be absolutely stunning, a stunning redhead. Stunning Irish, British redhead. Gorgeous, with freckles and everything, and real white skin, and absolutely gorgeous woman. And when she got older, the frumpy stuff like the Sia, okay, she was like, whatever, it is what it is. And when she got real old, she was frumpy. And she still wore her self-made and self-designed plateau boots. They look absolutely gorgeous, these plateau boots. Still wore those. Would go everywhere with those. I loved the way she talked. I loved her accent. Beautiful, cute British accent. So kind-hearted. Of course she didn't. She wasn't informed about what's really going on in the United States. I mean, obviously in England, they are completely lopsidedly informed. Everyone there is lopsidedly informed. In Germany too. And in whole Europe, it's just a handful of people that see through the stuff, that pay very good attention to all of this. people that are not easily trusting, so like myself. I used to be trusting, very trusting, okay, coming from Germany and all of that, until I got ripped off over and over again here in the United States by boyfriends, and they would steal from me. And so I finally learned my lesson. Yeah, I got date raped. I got disrespected. One boyfriend kicked me onto my leg. I had to scream for help. He shoved me against the wall because I didn't want to let him into my apartment. So one learns, right? Learning experiences. So then you're not that trusting anymore. But why reinvent the wheel, as they always say, you know? It's just learn from other people's experiences. It's better than going through this again, right? Learning the hard way again. Don't do it. So learn from those people that have already been through it, that have been through the ringer, as they say. So learn from those and don't make their mistakes. Don't travel to Afghanistan. I keep saying this. Don't travel to the Middle East. Don't travel to Africa. Don't travel to Egypt. Not a good idea unless your name is Robert Edward Grant. Then the trafficking industry doesn't really have a use for you, right? He is old and he is a man and he is rich and he is boosting their economy, and so of course they're not going to get rid of him, okay? But if you are a 13-year-old or 18-year-old girl from Germany or Sweden or Holland or France, and you go there, you travel there alone or even with your best friend, the dangers are lurking there for absolute certain. They're lurking everywhere. They're even inside of the pyramids. Who knows how many hidden chambers are there that suddenly open up and snatch a girl in. It's like, oops, she disappeared. Some kind of miracle happened here. No. She was snatched into a side room, put into an elevator that went 10 minutes down on high speed. Right? Yeah. I don't even want to think about it. So just don't do it, okay? Don't even go there with your family or your dad. That side door might open and snatch you away. So don't do it. Don't go there. So there's an industry called human trafficking. And this is worldwide. It is. I talked about this many times before. I even made a poem for Maddie McCann, a little toddler, 3-year-old, that was abducted and most likely brought to the United States, to the underworld tunnels of the human traffickers. They use them for different things, including tests, cruel biomedical tests. I'm not exaggerating. This is not a theory. It's an actual. These are actual crimes. These are actual things that are happening in the world. And there are actually people that sell their children if the price is good. And they're equally to blame for this. Those are psychopathic, those people. Anyone who would sell their child to a human trafficker is a sociopath, psychopath, is a callous, cold-hearted person. I wanted to keep the subject light, but I know it. The longer I talk, the more I might end up talking about something negative again. Not because I want to be negative, but because the world out there is extremely dangerous. The paranoid person is the person who stays safe in the end. Okay, that's the truth, what I'm saying here. It is the truth. As they always say, the paranoid rich person is the safe rich person. That applies to people who are not rich too. Okay. This makes me hide the sand here. I say these things because I care, because I want people to be careful. I don't want anyone to be abducted. I don't want any living being to be hurt. We need to free all the pigs from the factory farms and the laboratories. All animals need to be freed from exploitation. Hearing aids. These hearing aids are consumer unfriendly products. That's not good. I don't know if the camera picked this up, but those hearing aids that Paul has, they are nasty. So all of this is the truth, what I'm saying. It is the truth. The future of living is where you take care of your own issues. That's the future of existence. You become your own teacher, your own scholar, your own expert in every field, and your own doctor, and your own gardener, and your own food producer. It's the truth. I'm telling you the truth. And you educate your children at home. You don't send them out there to be snatched by someone in a van or some other uncle with a candy bar or whatever, some mafia man. Vladimir Volkov. That's the name that the AIs use for their mafia stories. But I'm sure there is a Vladimir Volkov out there in the world that is very kind-hearted, right? So there are kind-hearted Vladimir Volkovs out there, and there are not kind-hearted Vladimir Volkovs out there. So, whatever their names are, you don't want to run into a not kind-hearted one. You don't want to have to be running away from a bad uncle, okay? So, don't trust anyone. Don't trust men. Don't trust women either. Don't trust anyone, okay? Just don't. Become very, very vigilant. Very vigilant. Before you make friends with someone. Message to children, but particularly girls. But boys too, but all people. Okay, so don't trust so easily. There's a lot of greedy people out there. It's the truth. And there's a lot of pedophiles out there. They're not right in the head. Society has literally bred those pedophiles. Hollywood is very responsible for that. Very, very much so. Hollywood gives you a beauty ideal that you think you need to adhere to. Think again. You do not. You do not have to adhere to Hollywood's beauty ideal. Here's what happens with pedophiles. They grow up in a society, this is worldwide, but let's just use this example of Hollywood. Hollywood has their dirty fingers in the whole world. Their videos, their movies are shown worldwide. Okay, I grew up with those. And here's what they do, the Hollywood movies. They will tell a boy that when you grow up, you're supposed to like a woman that is tall and skinny and blonde. This is not what they actually want when they get adults. What they actually want is they want a natural woman without makeup, who isn't trying, who is funny and who is artistic and who is playful, who's still a child at heart. But instead of accepting that inner voice, they will make fun of these particular women. They bully them. And then they end up going out with the photo model, skinny lady. But they really don't want that. It's a prestige thing. They have been told that's what you want. And so they'll use those for PR and for popularity. But secretly, they buy a Playboy magazine, my dad's a perfect example, right? Or Penthouse magazine, that they have buried inside of their bed drawer, right? And they pull that out at night with the flashlight and they look at it while my mother is sleeping. And they look at those. They look at the fleshier type of women. And so, if you want to know what someone's type is, look at what they are secretly looking at. Some men like men. So is that what they secretly look at? If yes, then that's a gay man, even if he's a Christian, right? So, and if he's looking at a fleshy lady, and I think I have my suspicion, let's put it this way, that every straight man out there and boy wants a fleshy lady, because that is nature, that's evolution. Okay, but they have been told by Hollywood, you want the photo model, and that's your prestige. That then you will be respected by others and so on. Hollywood movies do that to you in a subliminal, in a very subtle way. Okay, they'll give you these messages, and it is every bit of that is deliberately orchestrated to create insecurity, to create division, and to create fights. When the string holders create division, insecurity, and fights in the world, they have more control over people. If you are empowered, you stand tall with your nose that other people laugh about, you up, right? Tall, empowered. You learn to laugh about yourself. You learn to not take things so seriously, right? You walk through life with a lighter facial expression, with more natural self-esteem, with natural confidence, swagger, whatever, you swagger your way forward. And you don't care what other people think. And you don't stand in front of the mirror for 10 hours. No, you do your schoolwork instead. You get good grades. So if you do all of that, then how can the string holders control you? They can't then, right? They can only control you if you are beaten down psychologically, if you are insecure, if you don't know what's going on, you don't know what's happening in the world, okay? You don't know who is actually puppeteering things. You believe every doctor, what they say, then of course that's when they have full control over you. They can do anything with you. They can send you to a plastic surgeon. They can sell you washing detergent. They'll tell you, once you get dishwashing detergent, then your life will be all good. My mother used to make fun of that, and rightly so. So, but that's a milder part of brainwashing. What I'm talking about here is sending kids to go under the knife. That's the real crime, okay. Or sending kids into the military. And how do they do it? They create a movie in which they glorify war and going to war. And you come home and you are the celebrated hero. No, that's not how you come home. You come home broken, in pieces, where you go to a psychiatrist. Okay, that's the reality of it. No, you don't come home and you're celebrated by everyone and you get the scholarship. No, you don't even get a scholarship. You end up homeless. You fall through the grid. That's the reality of it. The string holders laugh themselves into the bank about it. They don't care about the war veterans that have literally risked their lives and given parts of their bodies up for it, arms and legs and their psychological well-being. They have given up. They have left behind on the battlefield. Okay, so string holders don't care about that. I care about you. I care about you, the war veteran. Even though we disagree 100% on our world views. some people will say, let them all kill each other off, and that's not how I function. I'm a bear mother, I'm a dog mother. I care about all, and I see how they brainwash the kids. And then these kids, they sign up with the military because they want to be like their war hero actor, the Godfather or whatever they're called. Right? So the dismissive hand movement. So they want to be like those, and they sign up for war, and they have no idea what's waiting there for them. Terror is waiting for them. Terror, absolute, total terror. And they don't even know when that terror is going to end. And if they don't get killed, they don't come home, they don't get stronger from it. They come home destroyed. Don't do that to your children. Don't send your children there. And if you're a child listening to my videos, never ever sign up for the military. Don't ever do that to yourself. You don't need to prove anything to yourself. Don't prove anything. Don't prove anything to others. You don't have to. You're already infinitely precious just the way you are. Okay, it's the truth, I'm saying. It is the absolute truth. And listen to your inner self. Listen at all times. Listen to your inner self. If you're gay, then you're gay. Accept it. Doesn't matter if your dad hates that. Walk away. You're not glued to your parents. Wait with all of these disclosures until you have your 18th birthday. Just for your own safety, because there are dads that will beat their children up for saying, Dad, I'm coming out of the closet. Or Dad, I have to tell you I'm an atheist, or whatever. Or Dad, I want to become an artist. This is really what I want. Some dads will beat their children up for that, for saying these things. So here's my recommendation to you. To play it safe. Don't disclose these things to your parents. Not to your mother either. She might tell you the dad, right? And then he will get real mad. So some parents are good, but there are very bad parents out there. This is a fact. And maybe the majority of them are bad. Because they are sitting on unresolved psychological issues. And it's not safe to say certain things to them. I learned that with my grandfather. My parents, they were very, very, very open-minded and liberal and all of that. My mother didn't like it that I was a whole. That has to do with her own unresolved psychological issues. Okay, my dad was okay with it. He didn't care. So my dad laughed about the videos my brother made of me when I was drunk. He thought that was entertaining. So, no, it was my grandfather who was the rigid-minded person in the family. And sometimes I was there because the horses were there and the Great Dane was there. My beloved animals were there. So I'd go over there to be with the animals, and then my grandfather would come home from his stamp business. And the way he looked at me already with these light blue eyes was ice cold, like the Exorcist. I'm not joking. I'm not exaggerating. Because everything I stand for, everything I am, the way I'm dressed, the way I walk, he would bully me, and he would one time he slapped me in the face. I was just 10 years old. And I was afraid. Ever since then, I was afraid of him. I was so afraid to be even anywhere near him. My dad got mad at him for that. He said, "We are not authoritarian. We don't beat our children. So I don't allow you to beat my daughter." So that was good of him to say that. My grandfather never beat us again after that. But my grandfather was very biased against girls and very biased towards boys. He'd give my brother money, would not give me money. He would throw away my painting that I made for him for his birthday. I threw it in the trash, he said. You know how that feels to a child or teenager? It's absolutely devastating. But what stood in his shelves were all the self-made little photos that my brother made, framed and all of that. Photos of different things. That was in the shelf. My self-made drawings and paintings, he threw them all away. That was cruel. That was really, 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 really heartbreaking for me. Very heartbreaking when he told me that. And he even said that with a satisfactory smirk on his face. I should have never, ever hung out with him again after that. But instead I was devastated over that. Absolutely devastated. I turned to alcohol, parties. I numbed it away. That's not the way to do it. The way to do it is you walk away. You walk away and never go back. And if my parents didn't like that, I walked away from him. And if they said, "But you should go there, and he will come for Christmas," and then I'll spend Christmas somewhere else. I'm not gonna come home if he's there. That's how I should have done it. The way Karl Lagerfeld dealt with bad people, with toxic people. They betray him once, and not a second time. And then he walks away, and he never turns around and goes back. He never talks to them again. And that's how I should have done it. But I was 20 years old, and I'm late developer. I was really still like 15. Okay, so it's all very, very sad. It took me a long time to learn all of these things. But you don't have to make the same mistakes. If someone mistreats you, you don't deserve it. They are full of psychological problems. But you're not their therapist, and you're not their punching bag. Walk away and never talk to that person again, ever, for the rest of your life. And if the other people are not okay with it, then leave those too. You don't need to be around them. You don't need their approval. And if your mother is a freaking enabler of a violent dad or something, you leave her too. Because that's not okay to be an enabler of violence. It's not okay. Not okay. If you have to, you go to the police and tell them what happened. If you're a woman and your husband is beating your child, you go to the police with your child and you say, "My child is not safe at home and I need help here. I need a divorce and I need protection from this person. I need someone to help me, a social worker or 2 or 3, right, to protect me from this person. I will get back on my own feet, but right now I need help." So she might have to go to a battered women's shelter Okay? And the most important thing is to go to a women's shelter that allows animals. If you have an animal, you have to bring the animal and your child with you wherever you go. Never ever leave them with a violent person, not even for a minute. That's a fact. All of this is fact. So all of this is, I say all of this to warn people, so you don't have to suffer. Never have to suffer. Never have to cry yourself to sleep like I had to do so many times in my life. What matters is not Jesus or religion. What matters is that you are true to yourself, that you love yourself, and that you love others. You don't need a religion to dictate that to you. You already know, your inner child already. The natural person already knows that. You don't need anyone to tell you that. That's the law of the infinite cosmos. That's the law of nature. Kindness is what matters. Love is what matters. Health is what matters. Be good to yourself. Be good to your health. Clean your house. Clean your bed. Take care of yourself. Take care of your animals and your children. Don't take drugs. That's not a coping mechanism that has any value at all. Drugs make people's lives more and more miserable. It just spirals downwards. Don't do that. If you have an animal or child, you have an obligation to them to be the strong mother, to be there, to clean the house, to cook them food, to prepare healthy food for them. Okay, so and you have an obligation to be good to yourself, to be good to your own body, okay? No matter who you are. Woman, man, child, any being, any intelligent being. No matter how intelligent you are or not intelligent. What I'm saying is the truth. Be good to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Don't drink alcohol. Don't smoke. Don't take drugs. Don't hang out with violent people. Hang only out with kind-hearted people you can trust. And just because someone says they're religious doesn't mean you can trust them. A lot of people can't be trusted. I don't know the exact number, the statistical number, but a lot of them, at least half, 50% of people you can't trust. And there's only 1 out of 100. That's 1% of people that will walk the extra mile for you. That will walk the extra mile to save someone, to save a living being, an animal or a child or adult. So, those are the people we need to protect the absolute most. Do your part in protecting these people. Elon Musk, Donald Trump, Tulsi Gabbard, those are the 1%, and even more rare. They're even among the 1%, the most rare, the rarest of all. 1% of 1%. Okay. Protect these people. Don't go against these people. They're here to protect us. They're here to make the world a better place. Okay? Peace and love for all living beings.